Hi everybody, my name is Carly Moore and I'm doing my second career profile on being a foster care provider. I'll also be going a little bit into being a foster care specialist as well. Both of them are similar, but they do have some specific differences, so I may be kind of bouncing a little bit back and forth, but just bear with me. Most of the information I'll be talking about is being a foster care provider, and I was able to talk about that with a lady from my home state. Her name is Marita. She has been a foster care parent for the last couple years, so I was able to get some really valuable information from her. Let's see, so we'll start off with the working environment as a foster care provider specifically. The working environment, it's within the walls of your own home. Obviously, we all are pretty familiar with foster care. For a foster care specialist, what they do is they typically are the ones who help train families who are wanting to become foster parents. They deal with a lot of the paperwork, a lot of the training sessions, that sort of thing with people who want to become foster care providers. The working environment for a foster care specialist, it's typically a full-time job. You work 40 hours a week. You are in charge of dealing with parent and education and children files, monthly activities, status reports, and dealing with records regarding licensing. You train the foster families on how to create conducive and stimulating environments for the children when they enter their home. And typical stressors, having issues talking today, that come with being a foster care provider is your life begins to revolve around the child you're taking care of. It completely changes your life, according to Marita. They each come with their own different baggage that you have to deal with. She said it's a very humbling experience to see where they're at and then where they end up at the end of their stay with you. It's hard to cater to the children's specific needs, but it really is life-changing as the provider. A big stress is having the child transition from a certain standard of living to coming into your home with completely new rules, completely new people. It can be a very stressful environment for you as well as the child. In Marita's particular situation, there aren't really any benefits per se with being a foster care provider. She is reimbursed a certain amount per month based on the expenses associated with the child, which specifically depends on the age of the child. That determines how much money they are reimbursed each month. The government picks and chooses what portions of the expenses will be reimbursed, but Marita compared it to a form of child support. You receive a certain amount per month. Common job tasks as a foster care provider: you basically become the child's mom. You are their sole provider. Common job tasks that Marita does with her foster kids is taking them to their appointments, their sessions, their therapy, anything they need to be at. Marita is the one that does it. So she basically becomes their mom. The educational requirements. To be a foster care provider, you don't necessarily need a certain degree. However, there are certain classes and certifications you have to complete in order to be considered for the position. Marita explained that they do a background check accompanied with lots and lots of paperwork. Certain criteria must be met in order for children to be able to come into your home. The government will inspect your home, and with that comes recertifying every year to continue to be a foster care parent. Another source signified that there are requirements that need to be met, such as a TB test and a health test, CPR and first aid certification. You have to have space in your home for a child, and a particular website I found specified no more than 2 children can share a room, and a complete background check. These requirements change with each state, however, so it depends on where you're living what those requirements will be. If you're seeking to be a foster care specialist, which is the person that is in charge of training and supervision of foster families, you need a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in sociology, psychology, counseling, or some related human behavioral degree. It was kind of difficult to find the starting salary range and the experience salary range, but I kind of got an average for both of them, so it may be a pretty rough estimate, but the starting salary range, starting salary was about $42,000, And then an experience salary range, I was able to find one up to $82,000. So I think it depends on your education and also where you're working, where you're located. Some miscellaneous career information that Marita gave me when I talked to her. She told me that it was their only child who inspired them to become a foster care provider. Their daughter always wanted other siblings, but due to family circumstances, they weren't able to do so. Marita said that this has been such a hard challenge to deal with being a foster parent. And for anybody considering becoming a foster care provider, she wants to reiterate how every child is different. Because of that, every situation is different. You can't treat them all the same. She said it's hard to cater to the child's specific needs while maintaining a household of your own. She explained that your life somewhat determines the fate of the child. You have to give up a certain level of your personal life in order to cater to their needs. As long as you're prepared for that, you will be able to influence the child's life. That was just the basic rundown for being a foster care provider, while also including some information about being a foster care specialist. Hope you enjoyed that.